Hello everyone, welcome to LBS IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss economics MCQs based on previous year UPSC questions through this series. So let's start our session. Our first question is, debenture holders of a company are its options are shareholders, creditors, debtors and directors. The answer to this question is option B, creditors. Debentures are long-term financial instruments that are used by companies to borrow money. A person having the debentures is called debenture holder. They are the persons or firms who purchase the debentures of other company. It contains a contract for the principal amount to be repaid after a specified period or at intervals and for payment of interest at a fixed rate. Hence, debentures holders are the creditors of the company. Some debentures have a feature of convertibility into shares after a certain point of time at the discretion of the debenture holder. The debenture which cannot be converted into share are called non-convertible debentures. So here answer to this question is option B, creditors. Next is, under which one of the Ministry of the Government of India does the Food and Nutrition Board work? Options are Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Women and Child Development and Ministry of Rural Development. The answer to this question is option C, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Food and Nutrition Board works under Ministry of Women and Child Development. It's a technical support wing under Child Development Bureau of the Ministry. The Food and Nutrition Board, set up in 1964, is an attached office of the Ministry of Women and Child Development and has a country-wide setup. So her answer to this question is option C. Next is, in the context of Indian news, what is MCX-SX? Options are a kind of supercomputer, title of Moon Impact Probe, stock exchange and nuclear powered submarine. The answer to this question is option C, stock exchange. Metropolitan Stock Exchange of India Limited, that is MSE, formerly known as MCX Stock Exchange, that is MCS-SX. Here SX is for stock exchange. It's a government-owned stock exchange recognized by SEBI under Section 4 of Securities Contracts Act 1956. It is under the ownership of Ministry of Finance of Government of India. MSE offers an electronic, transparent and high-tech platform for trading in capital market, futures and options, currency derivatives and debt market segments. The exchange has also received principal approval from SEBI for operationalizing SME trading platform. So her answer to this question is option C, stock exchange. Next is, in the context of independent India's economy, which one of the following was the earliest event to take place? Options are nationalization of insurance companies, nationalization of SBI, enactment of Banking Regulation Act, introduction of first 5-year plan. The answer to this question is option C, enactment of Banking Regulation Act. That was in 1949, which regulates the functioning of banks and provides details on various aspects such as licensing, management and operations of banks. The first 5-year plan was launched in 1951. And since then, India had launched 12 5-year plans. 12th plan was the last. Its duration was from 2012 to 2017. In 1955, India nationalized Imperial Bank of India with extensive banking facilities on large scale, especially in rural and semi-urban areas. It formed SBI to act as the principal agent of RBI and to handle banking transactions of the union and state governments all over the country. Nationalization of the life insurance in the year 1956 was among the major steps for bringing the insurance sector under direct public ownership and control. So here answer to this question is option C. Enactment of Banking Regulation Act was in 1949. That was the first. Next is, consider the following statements regarding RBI. Options are, it's a banker to the central government. It formulates and administers monetary policy. It acts as an agent of the government in respect of India. It handles the borrowing program of Government of India. Which of these statements are correct? The answer to this question is option C, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is, all the above statements are correct. RBI is India's central bank. It plays a multifaceted role by executing multiple functions such as overseeing monetary policy, issuing currency, managing foreign exchange, working as a bank of government. RBI played a vital role in ensuring economic and financial stability. RBI borrowed money on behalf of the government to keep them functioning. So her answer to this question is option C. All the above statements are correct. RBI issues and regulates currency notes. RBI is called banker to banks. RBI plays a vital role in maintaining price stability and deals with monetary policy of the country. RBI controls inflation and decides benchmark interest rates. RBI acts as government's banker and RBI is the regulator of foreign exchange. Next is World Development Report is an annual publication of option A, United Nations Development Program, option B, International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD, option C, World Trade Organization, option D, International Monetary Fund. Here answer to this question is option B, International Bank of Reconstruction and Development. The World Bank, that is International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, publishes the World Development Report annually. It has been published since 1978. Together, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development and International Development Association form the World Bank. That is, IBRD and IDA form the World Bank, which provides financing, policy advice, and technical assistance to governments of developing countries. While the World Bank group consists of 5 developmental institutions. So, here answer to this question is option B, IBRD. Next is, a country is said to be in a debt draft if option A, it has to borrow to make interest payments on outstanding loans. Option B, it has to borrow to make interest payments on to standing loans. Option C, it has been refused loans or aid by creditors abroad. Option D, the World Bank charges a very high rate of interest on outstanding as well as new loans. The answer to this question is option A, that is, it has to borrow to make interest payments on outstanding loans. Debt draft is a situation where you add on a new debt in order to repay an existing debt. A debt draft is a situation in which a borrower is led into a cycle of reborrowing or rolling over their loan payments because they are unable to afford the scheduled payments on the principal of a loan. These traps are usually caused by high interest rates and short terms. Debt trap diplomacy is carried out in bilateral relations between countries with a negative intent. Creditor country intentionally extends excessive credit to a debtor country, thereby inducing the debtor into a debt trap. Example, China's debt trap diplomacy. Next is full convertibility of the rupee may mean. Options are its free float with other international currencies, its direct exchange with any other international currency at any prescribed place inside and outside the country. It acts just like any other international currency. Which of these statements are correct? Here answer to this question is option A, statement 1 and 2 are correct. This is a term related with balance of payments and rupee. Here full convertibility of rupee means right of a resident to convert rupee into foreign currency and vice versa for all purposes, that is both current account transactions and capital account transactions. In India, there is only partial convertibility as several restrictions are there for capital account convertibility. Capital account convertibility means free conversion of cross-border capital flows, implying that anybody can convert domestic currency into hard currency at the market rate and take the hard currency out of the country. So here answer to this question is option A, 1 and 2. Next is consider the following. Market borrowing, treasury bills, special security issued to RBI. Which of these is or are components of internal debt? Here answer to this question is option D, 1, 2 and 3. That is all the above are components of internal debt. That is market borrowing, treasury bills, special securities issued to RBI are internal debts. Public debt is classified into internal and external debt. Internal debt is categorized into marketable and non-marketable securities. Marketable government securities include government securities and treasury bills issued through auction. Non-marketable securities include intermediate treasury bills issued to state governments, special securities issued to national small savings fund among others. Next is consider the following organizations. International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD. International Finance Corporation, that is IFC. International Fund for Agricultural Development, that is IFAD. International Monetary Fund, that is IMF. Which of these are agencies of United Nations? Here answer to this question is option D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is all the above are agencies of United Nations. IBRD provides loans, credits and grants. IFC provides investment advice and asset management to companies and governments. Both IBRD and IFC are part of 5 institutions that comprise World Bank Group. World Bank Group is a specialized agency of United Nations. IFAD is an international financial institution and specialized United Nations agency working in the field of poverty eradication in the rural areas of developing countries, providing grants and loans with low interest for allied projects. IMF focuses on fostering global monetary cooperation, Securing financial stability, facilitating and promoting international trade, employment and economic growth around the world. The IMF is a specialized agency of the United Nations.